Hey, good afternoon everyone. This is Jabari Mongoose, and today this is episode 7 of my Pokemon Black fully randomized Nuzlocke challenge. Recovering from the third gym leader, I dealt with some over-leveling issues that required me to not use almost half of my team. Right here I'm showing the dead Pokemon I have, which is Chingling and Derp the Slowpoke. Rest in peace, buddy. But I came across something. See, I found a fossil and I decided to go ahead and use it. And lo and behold, this claw fossil turned into a Druddigon. Now, it is a modest nature, which is unfortunate, but I believe that even with that, Chomper, the Druddigon, which has rough skin, can still put in the work. I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with a dragon typing. Fits well with like Drapion as sort of like a big powerhouse that can take some hits. In this episode, we are going to be taking on some rivals. I'm going to wrap up some things I started last episode. So right now our first fight is with Bianca. I came into this not too worried. She does have, even though her Pokemon are randomized, they are lower level than the gym leader's Pokemon, the last gym leader being Burr. So she does have a Dino, which Dragon Rage was something I was afraid of, but I get unlucky and get the paralysis on Dragon Breath. Now I still decided to stay in with Drapion and continue to try to do Pin Missile. This unfortunately only gets her in red, which procs a Super Potion, so I decide to not play with accuracy and chance of paralysis. I just go for a Bite, which does over half. So honestly, I should have been doing Bite in the first place. Dino is the first out of the Hydreigon line, so it is relatively frail when it comes to stats. Now she brings out her starter Audino, which will give me a huge experience buff no matter who I have up against it. So here I decided to stay with Druddigon. Now originally my plan was to pivot into someone else to get some XP. However, I get to crit. So I'm going to play with it. Druddigon, Pinchy is getting very close to leveling up. And at this point I had enough with the paralysis, so I decided to hard switch into BB. Magical Leaf almost takes it out. This, of course, is going to be very easy. Bianca uses the last of her healing, so even without the kill, I don't have to worry about her healing for the last of her Pokemon. Now, her last Pokemon is Tangrowth, which I do decide to switch out just because even though I think BB could beat it, it would be more of a slog. And this is a good opportunity to bring Chomper, the Druddigon, out. The Growth setup does scare me, but I decided to go ahead and use Dragon Rage. I feel like I'm at the point where Dragon Rage is probably not that viable. I can still probably use it up to maybe level 30, in the 30s to most Pokemon, but pretty soon I need to start thinking about dropping it because it's not going to two-hit KO every Pokemon pretty soon. But with that said, I defeat Bianca. So after this, I decide to heal, and I decide to go back to the Battle Company and finish what I started there. who may have not watched episode 6, I tried to tackle the battle company, get the XP share before fighting the gym leader, but this caused, with fighting the gym trainers, to have 2 of my Pokemon over leveled, and so I couldn't use them for the fight. Now, fortunately, the over leveling did not contribute to the death of Dirt Slowpoke. That was just an unfortunate part of the randomization of not expecting a Ho-Oh to come in. Oh, actually, before I do finish the battle company, I get my new encounter, which is a Raichu. Now here I make a humongous risky play. I decided to use Dragon Rage, which, looking back on this now, was stupid because of the sandstorm. So honestly, I can't remember what my logic was, but we just barely get it without getting a kill. And we get Raichu, who I nicknamed Love Song, with the pun of not gonna write you a love song. It is a naive nature, which I really like that. Raichu is one of those Pokemon that I love doing mixed sets with both physical and special attacks, and with it being a stone evolution, even though it won't learn anything new, it does know Thunderbolt and Quick Attack, and I can make do with those 2 moves and just use TMs to teach it the remaining 2 moves I need for coverage. So here is where I finish fighting the battle company. I decided to skip everything leading up to the CEO. Unfortunately, none of the other office workers had Moltres. 2 different office workers had Articuno and a Zapdos, so I was really hoping that someone else would have a Moltres, but not the case. From here on out, during my recordings and my editing process, I will not record every single gym trainer battle I do. Basically, I will show off the ones I feel like are important, as in if I happen to have a death by the hands of a trainer fight, if there was one that was particularly challenging and I wanted to show off how I was able to overcome it. Those are the ones I will keep. Otherwise, the trainer battles that will be shown are the significant ones. So like the CEO being a decent side boss, I would consider him. I'm keeping in. Also because he had a freaking Zawilus as his ace, which I thought was really cool. Pinchy takes care of it relatively easy. Rival fights I'll keep. And gym leaders, Elite Four, and the champion are all of those that I will keep moving on to future videos. So, I beat Bianca. I got my Raichu encounter in the desert. I beat the battle company, and then I go back up to fight Sharon. So this will be more challenging than Bianca. He does have the better starter out of the 2, which is Toxicroak in this randomizer. And Toxicroak is, well, his move pool wasn't that good early on. I think it's starting to get better. This actually scared me right here, him having a Graveler, because I was fearing the self-destruct. So what I do here is I pivot to Macarena. I don't know if that was the right choice. I really don't know what was the right decision. I probably could have pivoted to BB, but I'm also just don't want to overly rely on it. Fortunately, there was no self-destruct. I honestly don't know if Graveler knows self-destruct at this level, but it does use the Rock Polish. It is faster, but it does just use a Rock Throw. And right here, I was able to one-hit KO it with a Mega Drain, which tells me that it had, I guess, Rock Head, not the Sturdy. Because if it had Sturdy and had self-destruct, I probably would have been in trouble. And right now, I also have the Experience Shell on Raichu to get it leveled up. See, I'm happy I have a full team of 6 now, because even though I'm having a lot of Pokemon close to level 27, which is the next level cap for Elise, I can now use Experience Share, Switch Training. I can manage my XP growth a lot better now. So I keep Ludicolo in against the Muck, because one, I figured it could tank a poison hit effectively, but also I wanted to show off nature power, and that in the sand, it's Earthquake, and I was able to get an easy 2-hit KO and avoid any minimize shenanigans. So right here, we have Levani, and I'm not going to stay in on it, and I decide to pivot into Chomper, because since he has Rough Skin, I figured I could use Rough Skin damage to help whittle down his HP to get an easy KO. Plus, Sandstorm is helping out as well, both against my opponent and against me, so I need to make sure I manage that effectively. Here, I probably should have gone with Crunch or maybe a Slash for a chance to crit. I'm thinking maybe Crunch could have gotten the kill, because I wouldn't have had to use another turn to deal with a potential crit. I actually think a crit would have killed. So that was just unnecessary risks on my part that I probably should have just swapped out to someone else. But now he goes into Toxicroak. I was actually concerned if Toxicroak has Pursuit at this level. Again, I'm also going into this relatively blind. And so Professor Juniper calls us, says she has a gift for us. At this point, she'll give us Ultra Balls. So actually, this is a different recording session. 2 separate recording sessions. I decided to mesh into one because I really didn't feel like I progressed much with 2 rival fights. I wanted to get to the next city, which is Nakreen City, before I ended this one. So right here, I'm going to do a compilation of me getting items. So I get a Splash Plate. I get a Spell Tag, because again, this randomizer, everything is fully randomized. TM moves and items are completely randomized. We got Rose Incense. So I also think it's funny just to see what I find with these. TM47 in this game is Sing. And I get a Fighting Gem. Don't really have a fighting move right now, but I'm hoarding every single gem I can find, which is just ice and fighting gems right now. Health Link, I'll probably just waste it on someone. And I also end up backtracking. I did a lot of exploration here because I realized there were some hidden items I missed. So I find a Dawnstone, which could be helpful at some points. Over here, I find some berry juice. It's better than an orange berry, and I don't have citrus berries right now, so I'll take it. Helix Fossil. So this is not going to be an encounter for me. I've already used my Claw Fossil to get Druddigon. I may at one point just revive it just to see what I could have gotten. Maybe I'll do that sort of towards the end. But I'm not going to use that encounter because I already used the Fossil encounter is in that city. I forget what the name was off the top of my head. But basically, I'm not going to get any more Fossil encounters in this game. Because I'm treating encounters on that route. So if I decide to take a static encounter over a wild encounter, then that's what I have. It's easier for me to track. Okay, so here Team Plasma is harassing the daycare worker. This one is also, I felt like, just an important story battle, so I decided to keep it in. So right here he has a Blossom, and this is Loki disguised as Chomper right now. So going in with some feint attacks. I don't think that Blossom, if I remember, doesn't really have too many effective moves. I mean, it has a Sunny Day, so it's going to be double sped with Chlorophyll. I think it only has like Acid and Mega Drain, which is why I kept Zorua in. I just didn't feel like there was anything that could really put Zorua in danger. Plus, Zorua, or Loki, is holding the Evilite right now since it's not fully evolved, which helps it tank some hits a little bit better. Interesting pro strats with the Sweet Scent and the Stun Spore. I'll give the AI credit for that. And so it does decide to learn Taunts, which I actually do think it's interesting. If I do decide to look up randomized Pokemon's moves, since they don't go by level up moves, I can probably use Taunt to my advantage to manipulate some randomized Pokemon's level up move sets. But that'd be more situational. It may not fully happen. So I also stay in on the Plusle. The fact that it has a chance to know Spark at this level is a little scary. Yep, see. And it can do a decent amount of damage, but again, Loki is taking that very well, which I think the Evilite is helping out a lot with that. And one more feint attack seals the deal, so good job. We're also high leveled at this point, but we're not over leveled for the gym. Again, the level cap is 27. So we scare him away. We get our bicycle. This part of the game is a huge story point for her with her relationship with her father. So here I decide to heal, and I've been skipping all the heals. The times I skip to go heal, but I keep this in just because of the ridiculousness of this TM shop. Because one of the TMs is Water Spout, and I instantly take that. I may come back and get Drill Peck later, but later on I do buy Rain Dance and Water Pledge. I don't know if I kept that in this recording or not. So here I'm also having a really hard deciding some things because I got this randomizer online because I did not have a way to get the randomized software to customize how I want to randomize my games, my ROMs. Because of that, sometimes I get iffy about randomized TMs. If TMs are randomized, sometimes I try to make it make sense on the Pokemon, but at this point, I'm debating whether I just want to limit myself with that or just go all in with the randomization. And I think I have to go all in with the randomization. It'll just be more chaotic and fun for me, which I think I have to treat this Let's Play here. Again, this Let's Play is a full-on experiment. I'm trying to pick up more and more tools to make future Let's Plays, future randomized Nuzlocke challenges better. I want this to be more I want the layout to make more sense. I want to make sure it looks interesting and pleasing with the tools I have available. So again, always looking for advice to anyone who watches these and would be interested in seeing more randomized Nuzlocke Let's Plays. So we go up against N. We went on a date on a Ferris wheel. It was so sweet. He almost held my hand, guys. But now we have to fight because his crew came and he got embarrassed. So he has a Primeape, and that was low-key in the lead as Chomper again. So I hard switch into BB, who easily takes him out with a Confusion. Oh, sorry, not easily. It takes 2 hits, but that's fine. And you see Love Song, the Raichu, is getting a lot, is leveling up. I'm going to be getting rid of the experience share on him pretty soon because he's getting closer to the rest of the team. N has always had pretty good randomized Pokemon for our battles. So this Galvantula here was pretty scary. So I decided to go into Chomper because with the rough skin, Galvantula knows a lot more physical moves, and early levels and later levels it gets more special attacking moves, so taking advantage that it knows only Bug Bite right now. His next Pokemon is a Carvanha. There's a chance that it knows Ice Fang, and I go into Macarena. But a Swagger, just more annoying. Fortunately, even though Ludicolo has a minus speed nature, he outspeeds here. And then his last Pokemon is a freaking Armaldo. N's team is just insane in this battle. I'm really debating what I want to do, but I decide to not risk like any super effective bug moves, and I just go into the most reliable Pokemon on my team, being Pinchy. Get one flinch. I missed a second flinch, but that's fine. At this point, this match is mine to lose. So one extra sensory takes care of it. Just when I thought me and N still didn't have feelings for me, he comes up closely and I get to look deep into his eyes. It's so sweet. After our date, so I'm not challenging the gym leader yet. I wanted to show that I made it through the gym to fight the trainer. And I don't have all of my Pokemon to level 27. Even though I feel like I can take on the gym right now, what I decided to do is I decided to go to the Desert Resort and the Relic Castle to get my encounters and get more items. So right here near the trainer tip sign, there's a hidden item, and I get a Shell Bell, which it's not leftovers, but it's still an item that heals, which can matter. So right now, I decide to put it on Raichu, mainly because it's fast and I can get some health in before most Pokemon would come and attack me. And then I also get my TM, which is Dig. Now, like Flash, Dig is not randomized in this, I think because it has some utility in the overworld, so I think those and the HMs are not randomized, which I'm happy about that. Okay, so there's two sides of Desert Resort. There's this side of the gate, and then when you go through the gate, there's another Desert Resort. So it's all just one encounter. I don't treat them as two encounters like Pinwheel Forest. And my encounter here is a Magcargo. So, thing is, I like most weird Pokemon, and Magcargo is a Pokemon I've always loved in this game. And I've always wished it was better. Unfortunately, Rock and Fire, just not a good typing. But obviously, an encounter is an encounter in Nuzlocke, and I have no Pokemon in the box right now. This is still treated as Desert Resort, so this Clink is not an encounter. I just show off more items I get. So like right here, I get a Wave Incense. This battle right here is important. Okay. Yeah, so this one took me on by surprise, reminding me that trainers will have legendaries in this randomizer. So, for example, this dude here has a level 23 Rayquaza. This has me scared. Because right here, that's Loki. So what I do is I decide to do a hard switch, and I decided to go into Pinchy. Rayquaza uses Scary Face, so now I definitely wouldn't outspeed if I already did, and I can't get bite flinches, but I decided to stay in, go for a bite, and a Hyper Voice nearly kills. A crit would have killed Pinchy. So here I weigh my options, and I decide the just universally bulky BB to Celebi, I switch him in. Unfortunately, Rayquaza doesn't go for a Hyper Voice, it just goes for a Twister. So here, I go for a Confusion, which does good damage and gets the Confused status on Rayquaza. And Rayquaza gets hit by Confusion. So I got incredibly lucky. But even if I was taking Hyper Voices, I think BB was the best option. It's a Mythic, it has outrageously high stats in every category, and it has Recover. I can just Recover stall if I need to. And then I get my encounter here, which is a legendary, but it's a Phione. Or a Phony, however it's pronounced. I fast forward this because it takes quite a few Pokeballs. But its only attacking move is Bubble. So I decided to use Taunt so I can just easily control what it does. It's not Manaphy, it doesn't have like Tail Glow or anything. This is really just a diet Manaphy, which is kind of upsetting, but it is a water type. So, I mean, I can have uses for it. A pure water type too. It doesn't have the additional weaknesses like Ludicolo, but Ludicolo is far superior right now. But at least it does have balanced stats across the board. Even though it is just 80 across the board, it's an encounter. It still is a legendary. I could probably have use for it later on if I want to. But you see, it takes quite a few Pokeballs. Quite a few Pokeballs. I forgot how many I threw at this sucker. Okay, I got Phione, and my amazing nicknaming skills right here. I decide to call Phione Phi. Just Phi. B is also a call for one of my... So I'm a huge fan of the Tales games, and I liked playing Tales of Berseria. And people don't know, one of the playable characters is named Phi. So I don't know if I spelled it right, but it doesn't matter. Oh, and so we're nearing the end of this episode, and this is just one final piece of thing that happened that just makes me love and hate randomizers. So, yeah, I got him a Cargo, but I could have had a Genesect. And the thing is, I have a Shock Drive in my items, and I haven't sold it yet because there's always a chance I'll get a Genesect in these randomizers. And I would have liked one. I really, really would have liked one. But that's just how it goes sometimes. So, here, I defeat it because Raichu is the last Pokemon on my team to get to level 27. And with this gets me to level 27, and the next time you see me in the next episode, confront Elise and go for our 4th gym badge. So, I hope people enjoyed this episode of item collecting, rival fighting, and encounters, and I'll see you guys next time.